Ready for an epic tale of triumph? Join us as we explore how Nike ruled the World Cup. It's a story you won't want to miss. Lace up and let's uncover how Nike took over the World Cup together. When it comes to football, the world is split between Adidas and Nike. Together, they sponsor over 60% of the teams in Qatar. However, not too long ago, the situation was quite different. In 1990, Adidas supplied more than 60% of teams, while Nike had no presence at all. This matters significantly because there's a substantial amount of money involved. The global sportswear market is valued at $300 billion, and the World Cup is one of the largest sporting events worldwide, with a massive global viewership. It serves as a platform for showcasing passion, athleticism, and victory, making it a colossal marketing opportunity. This is why Nike and Adidas compete vigorously for the best teams, players, and moments, aiming to triumph when the world's eyes are on them. So, as Argentina and France shine on the field, the question arises: which brand emerges as the dominant force in Qatar? Join us at Athletic Interest as we delve into this brand rivalry, a topic that's noteworthy in itself. For an extended period, Adidas dominated the world of football while Nike had a minimal presence. This division stemmed from Adidas's origins in football and Nike's roots in running. Adidas began its ascent to prominence during the 1954 World Cup, when its founder, Adi Dassler, introduced lightweight shoes with screw-in studs that contributed to Germany's World Cup victory in the rain, consequently establishing Adidas as a renowned brand on football pitches globally. From that point onward, Adidas became synonymous with football. In the 1970s, Horst Dassler, the head of Adidas, played a pivotal role in commercializing FIFA, from creating a television market to orchestrating sponsorships and broadcasting rights. These strong ties to football propelled Adidas to become the world's largest sports brand, and explain why the landscape looked the way it did at the start of the 1990s. During this time, Nike had no football presence, and football was unaware of Nike. However, at the 1994 World Cup in the United States, Nike's co-founder, Phil Knight, witnessed the Brazilian national team winning the title in front of a record-breaking crowd at the Rose Bowl Stadium. This event prompted Knight to consider expanding into football after conquering running, tennis, and basketball by signing the right athletes to establish Nike as a truly global brand. Knight conveyed to his employees that to genuinely understand football, they needed to see the game from the perspective of Brazilians, and that's precisely what they did. 2 years later, in New York, a groundbreaking $200 million 10-year contract was inked between the Brazilian Federation and Nike. Not only was the deal itself significant, but Nike also revolutionized the way it activated the partnership. The Brazil national team became central to this activation, featuring in campaigns like The Secret Tournament, Viral Ronaldinhos, Joga Bonito, and depictions of robots taking over football. Nike made an indelible mark on football culture. This strategy paid off as Nike's football sales surged from $40 million in 1994 to over $2 billion in 2018, aided by their sponsorship of the World Cup winning team in Russia. Nike had successfully closed the gap with the long-standing leader Adidas. But the question remains, what about 2022? Here's the breakdown. During every World Cup, the executives at Adidas and Nike offices eagerly analyze their Excel spreadsheets, diligently tracking several key metrics. They meticulously calculate how many teams have chosen to don their respective kits, how many players have opted for their shoes, and even tally up the total number of goals scored by athletes wearing their products. Let's start with the first metric, which revolves around kit sponsorships. Each participating country boasts a substantial fan base, and success on the field translates into millions of jersey sales. Out of the 32 countries in the tournament, Nike holds the jersey sponsorship for 13 of them, marking a notable achievement as the leading sportswear sponsor in Qatar. Adidas, on the other hand, outfits 7 nations. This World Cup represents the third instance where Nike has outperformed Adidas, with the largest gap ever recorded between these two long-standing rivals. Nike's triumph in this area undeniably comes at the expense of Adidas, and even Puma is striving to catch up. However, it's not merely a numbers game. Quality also plays a pivotal role. Analyzing the period between 2018 and 2019, Adidas lost sponsorship deals with 9 federations, but only 2 of those were among the top 50 nations, namely Iran and Israel. This shift signals that Adidas has altered its strategy, prioritizing quality over quantity. Now let's delve into the aspect of quality by examining which teams are occupying the VIP seats in Nike and Adidas portfolios. Among the 7 nations adorned by Adidas, 6 are ranked among the top 20 in the world. Nike, on the other hand, boasts 7 teams within the top 20, but is also associated with lower-ranked teams like Qatar and Saudi Arabia, both of which are among the weakest teams in the competition. Nonetheless, Nike's inclusion of teams from major markets like England, France, and the US virtually guarantees substantial jersey sales. Remarkably, among the top 4 teams in this sponsorship race, 2 belong to Nike, 1 to Adidas, but the unsung champion is Puma, which sponsors Morocco. This particular team has won the hearts of a significant portion of the Arab and African world, making it a noteworthy contender in the sportswear sponsorship arena. While selling a substantial number of jerseys is great, the real money lies in footwear. Players have the freedom to choose their shoes regardless of their team's kit sponsor. Therefore, both Adidas and Nike strike individual deals with players, which have become increasingly significant in today's era of superstar athletes. Players like Ronaldo and Messi wield an unprecedented level of influence on social media, giving them commercial power that often surpasses that of many clubs and national teams. In the realm of shoes, Nike once again takes the lead, with almost half of the players in Qatar opting for Nike footwear, followed by Adidas with over a third. However, Nike's dominance has slightly waned compared to 4 years ago when they had over 60% of players, as they've lost some endorsements. It's important to note that it's not just about the number of players wearing a brand's shoes. Quality matters too. Nike also excels in this regard, with most of the goals being scored by players wearing Nike boots. When it comes to the squads of the 2 finalists, it presents a classic Adidas versus Nike scenario, showing a more balanced picture in terms of footwear choice. Before declaring the winner in the brand competition, let's acknowledge 2 notable mentions. First, New Balance deserves credit despite having only 10 sponsored players. These players, although few in number, have made their mark by scoring 5 goals for prominent teams. Additionally, Louis Vuitton made a significant impact even before the World Cup commenced. The iconic photo featuring Ronaldo and Messi playing chess went viral, becoming the second most liked post ever on Instagram. However, when it comes to on-field dominance, Nike emerges as the clear brand champion this year. In 1990, they didn't have a single team represented at the World Cup. Fast forward to 2022, after nearly a century of Adidas's reign, Nike has seized the top spot. Yet, Nike's victory isn't as overwhelming as it could have been, thanks in part to Messi and Argentina's performance. Messi, a key ambassador for Adidas, once again delivered on the global stage. Now, the focus shifts to the future, as both Nike and Adidas managers will be scouting for potential heroes of the 2026 World Cup. That wraps up our story of how Nike conquered the World Cup. If you loved this journey, subscribe and hit like below. Questions or thoughts? Share them in the comments and follow us on social media for more. Thanks for watching.